Welcome back again to week 5 of How to CAD. It's the last class today, but I'm feeling very sad that it's going to be the last time I see you for now. Perhaps in the summer we'll see each other again. So thank you very, very much for being here today, especially today. So let's go ahead and get started. So these are the things that we have planned for today. As usual, we're not going to cover nearly all of them on class today. Hopefully, the theme, there's always been Lego bricks in this class, and it was for a reason. It's because today we're actually designing a Lego brick. So now everything has a reason here, all of the pictures. So we'll do a Lego brick, and then we'll try, if there's a little bit of time, to see how we can make an assembly out of those. And then on the other videos, right, that will be included afterwards, hopefully you can watch it in your free time, and show you how to make some animations, how to make an exploded view of, like, say, a house that you will build using Legos, how to make an engineering drawing, among other things. So let's get started. Any questions on top of your mind? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get you to ask questions in just a moment. And just as a quick overview of what we've been covering so far, you remember from our roadmap inspired on Dragon Ball, we are right now on session 5, the 5th Dragon Ball, the last one in our saga to summon the Dragon Shenlong. And yes, we've covered a lot of different things throughout the last month. Hopefully there's some areas where you might feel more comfortable than the other ones, so you can always go back to the videos and practice those. But otherwise, I think that with most of these things, you should be well equipped to design a lot of things, right? And if anything, you start designing something and then you realize that you don't know how to do something, so then you can Google it and learn some other commands. That we definitely didn't cover everything, but at least this should be reasonable enough. And just attribute to our friend Goku in there. So like this is session 5. And we'll start with the brick, and some other things that we'll be doing are shown in this slide. So just to give you a preview of how the brick could look like, is something like this, which is with a tiny a couple of modifications there. The same thing with the plate. I'll say with the plate, I did a massive rectangular pattern for all of the different stats. And we're not going to do the plate in person today. But what I will say is that it's very computationally expensive to do something like that. Fusion doesn't like it a lot. And then I attempted this morning to do something with the plate and the bricks. It looks okay, but hopefully I'll play around with this a little bit later. So let's go ahead and let's go to Fusion. So let's open it, and you can see here from earlier today what we're doing, but I'm going to do a new design. So I'm in this window, that's where you guys all are. And what we're going to use to design our brick is this drawing in here, which is on the slides. It's also on the website as well, so you can find it there. But this is in essence how engineers, especially mechanical engineers, aerospace, or most engineering disciplines, communicate design properties with all of these measurements. And it shows there's a particular theme that has to follow, like the different views and whatnot. So this is what we'll use today to design our brick. And if you look at this drawing in here, all of the dimensions are in millimeters, and I designed it apparently on the 27th of January, so it's going to be almost 2 months since then. And you can see from at least this view that the side length of the rectangle is 16. So remember, you can see vaguely the numbers from the spectacular illustration over there. 16, while the length of the side of the rectangle is going to be 8, 8, 8, 8, so it's 32. So we have a rectangle that is 16 by 32, and the height, according to this view, is 9.6. So let's do that. So I'm going to go over here to this face, and I'm going to choose the rectangle tool. Here, the center rectangle. And I will draw. Actually, I just realized one thing, and I'm going to click on Finish Sketch for a second. Is that if you go to Document Settings, right here, you see that mine are in inches. I'm not sure whether yours are in inches or millimeters, but if yours are in inches, you have to change them to millimeters. So what I'll do is I'll click in where it says Active Units, and in inches, I'll click on millimeters. So I'll say, okay. So now we are in millimeters. So how do I go back to the sketch? I just right-click there, and then I go to Edit Sketch, and now we should be here. So go here to where it says Create, then Sketch Dimension, and I'm gonna click in there, do a 32, Then click on this side, do a 16. And then we'll go over to solid and extrude that by 9.6. Okay, so let's all give it a shot. So the next thing that I want to do is, if we go back to our drawing, there you know from intuition, right? You've seen Lego bricks, and you know that Lego bricks are mostly hollow in the inside. And if you look at the drawing in here, that is part of the information that it's communicating. All of these white areas that you can see on this view, this is like a CAD view, tell you that it's hollow on the inside. And one way to also tell is that you can see this, also these dashed lines over there, or I guess shaded areas, show you also what is like the solid aspect of the brick. And it's telling you that there's a wall, a uniform wall that is 1.2 millimeters big all around the surface. So how do you make something like that? It's super easy. All you would need to do is you go to the bottom of your brick, in this case here, and then you click in where it says shell, and you click on that face. So what does shell do? Let me do a quick demonstration. You can click 1.2 millimeters, and that is exactly what it does. It essentially creates a shell of uniform wall thickness of 1.2 millimeters all around the shape. So I'll say okay, and it remains like this. So you can try. So what is the next step in here? Let's go back to our drawing. So if you look into the Lego drawing, you see that now we're going to do the studs. And if you look at the drawing here, it says that you got 4 millimeters. So the center of this circle is 4 millimeters from that edge. It's going to be 4 millimeters from that edge. And that circle in itself is 4.8 in diameter. And from this picture in here, you can see that it's 1.8 tall. So let's go ahead and draw that. How will you do it? Like this. You click in create sketch on the top face of that rectangle, and we're going to create a bunch of lines. So we'll make them construction lines because I just need them for reference. That's it. So I create an L shape, as you can see there, and then where it says sketch dimension, I'm going to make those two lines 4. And then I go to where it says circle diameter. There we go. And I will make this circle be 4.8. And the next thing I'll do is go here to solid, extrude, and I'll extrude it by 1.8. That's it. So just do that for now. All right, so let's do one of my favorite parts of the brick, which is what makes the Lego brick the Lego brick. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. So we go here. There's a little blurb on the drawing that tells you how to write the Lego word. I don't think the font is Calibri, but it looks similar. So that's what we'll be using today. And the way we'll do this, there's this 2.9 number. We'll use it in just a second. I'll explain what that means. So now start the sketch on this face, on the top face of the stud. And then go here to the line command, and then click on construction. And we're going to do the following 2 lines. First, we're going to draw a horizontal line that looks like that, and then another line that looks like that. So you have a T-shaped line in there. And then if I go down to create and I do a sketch dimension, I'll make that number be 2.9. So that was the meaning of the 2.9 previously. So do that. Okay. Okay, so now that you've done that, the next step that we'll do is you go here to where it says create, and then go to text. And we'll click on text. So there's this text command that's called text on path, and the path that I will select is this bottom line in there. So for instance, I can write instead of Lego, this could be CAD, right? In fact, I might leave it as CAD just for fun. It looks professional. And probably in your case, it might look a lot bigger than in my case. I already played around. So you can see the properties that I used in there. So you can change the font type to whatever you want. I used Calibri here. The height that seems to work is 1.3. And then you can play around with all of these buttons and you'll see that it just moves around the arrangement of your little part. I can move it up, I can move it down. I can just flip it along its axis and whatnot. You can just be creative with all of those things. But I think for me, it looks fine in there, so I'll click OK. You can write the word Lego, you can write whichever word. As assuming that you go to the text, then the next thing that you can do is go here to solid, and you can click on extrude, and where it says on what I want to select, I can select like literally the text, and I can bring the text up by 0.1 millimeters. So now I got my CAD stud. Yeah. Nice. Let's do the next step, which is the following. All right. So you reach this point. So now we'll click on this top tab that's called rectangular pattern. So we'll go here, and I already have it selected for features. You'll probably have it in bodies, but I click here in features, and then I will click on what do I want to do a rectangular pattern of the stud and of the CAD word, or whichever word that you decided to write. And then in axis, you can select, say like that one. And then for quantity, I want 4 of these. I want the spaced at 24 millimeters. And I want 2 of these. And I want them spaced at 8. So you see, it makes a nice pattern. So you can literally copy all of those properties in here. And if you click on OK, it generates all of the stats, which is very pretty. One very nice thing is that if you go back to like the engineering drawing in here, that is exactly what we did, because the information that we're being told is that the separation between one Lego tab and the other one is 8 millimeters. And the separation at least on one direction. And that's the information I'm telling you, that it's a ×8 linear pattern. And the same thing between that one and that one. So we will learn later how to design something like this too. But that will come out afterwards. So hopefully once you've done something like this, you can smooth some of the edges. So you can click in fillet and then just select all of them. Just like that. That will make it look pretty. I'll do 0.1. Very good. So let's reach this point together. Let's continue in here. Have we all reached a point like this, more or less, like with the stats? I'm assuming yes. 0.1. But don't worry about the filleting now. It's just a detail. Like nothing too fancy, just to make it look pretty. But hopefully you reached a point like this one. So what I want to do is turn your block around and then click here on create sketch and select the bottom face of your brick. So now we're gonna start doing some stuff in here too. And the thing that I wanna do is, if you go here to create, then go to project, and I'm gonna project just one of these circles. And as you can see, what that does is that it essentially brings that circle down to that face. So we'll be using that in just a second, because there's this pretty cool command that's called offset. So I can click in there and say that I want to create an offset circle by 1.2. And I'm going to flip the direction. So it creates an interior circle. And I'll say, OK. So that's all I want for now, because then I can just go all the way to solid and I can extrude this, let's say by 1.2 inside. There we go. So that's all you need to do for now. Just a circle like that. So you do, again, the way it was done is just, let me just edit this for a second. I did a project entities. I used the project command to project that circle into this face in here, and then offset to make it smaller. There we go. Yeah, once you've done that,
You just make the rectangular pattern.
exactly. So we'll do a rectangular pattern of this thing. So I'll just click it again in the rectangular pattern symbol, and then in objects, I'll select this one, and then in axis, I'll select this line in here. I'll select 24. Done. Very good. So hopefully you have something that looks vaguely like that. And the last thing I'll do is I'll add a couple of fillets to all of these holes in here. I'll say, okay. If you guys have reached a point like this, one last thing that I want to try is that if you look at the engineering drawing again, most Lego bricks, they have these inner cylinders, as you can see on the picture in here. And these cylinders are 0.6 in diameter, and they are, how wide are they? I'm trying to find. Oh, they're 4.8. Very good. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So I go here to this face, and I'm going to create a bunch of construction lines that go like this. Oh, there we go. That zigzag pattern. I'll do 1, 2, 3. Equal. 4.8 and 0.6. I'll leave it like this. Okay, so let's do one last thing in our Lego bricks. This last one thing that I like doing is I like if you've looked at my previous Lego brick design, I did like a circle in here and I did a circle in there. And that will be useful. You'll see why in just a moment. So go here to create sketch and choose this side. And when you're there, just make a circle and make it, I don't know. I'll make it 5 millimeters big. And then I will extrude, cut inwards by 0.1. So do a little circle like that. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing here on the side as well. So let's do a little circle. And let's make this one be 5 millimeters. Okay, to solid. Negative 0.1. And then if you guys remember, no, my pleasure. Yeah. And then if you guys remember from the plane creation part, you can go here to assess that you want to create a mid plane, and you can create a mid plane that is between this side and this side. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna create a mid plane that is between here and here. And why am I doing this? Is because then I can just do a quick mirror. I can go to where it says create, then mirror. So I can say, all right, I want to mirror a feature. The feature I'll mirror is this one. And about what plane? That one. So let's do that. And I'll repeat it again. Create, mirror. I'll select that feature and this plane. There we go. I think that looks fine. And then you can hide your planes. If I go here to construction, I can just not show them. So the last thing I'll do is I'll give this some color. I'll go here to appearance, and this time maybe I'll make it, let's see, gray. Do we have anything? Powder coat. See this one. Nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna make my brick look like this for now. Yeah, so try to reach this point. Those of you that can save your file. So that's what I'll do right now. So I'm gonna close here and I'll say save. So I'll call it Lego V2, yes, on AutoCAD, perfectly. So let me know, just raise your hand when you saved your file. That way, perfectly. That way, so the next thing that we'll do is go here to File and click on New Design. And then click on where it says Show Data Panel. So just, again, go here to File, New Design, and then click on that point. That way I can see your parts. So suppose you reach this point where you are in a new design and you can see all of your pieces here. I'm gonna click on my Lego brick and clicking where it says insert into current design. So now I'm bringing this piece here and I'll say, okay. So this is your first part that you bring. So right click on the part and here, actually right click in there and click on ground. What that means is that now if I click on the part and I try to drag it around, I won't be able to do it. Now, if I right click on the Lego brick here, and oh, let me just, there we go. So I right click in there, and then you click in copy, you can go to where it says unsaved and click on paste. So then when you click on paste, just move the brick like that. And what happens? This one, which is our original brick, it's still fixed in space. That's like our, let's call it the core brick. While this one that I just copied, it floats around, which is good. So now I'm gonna bring a couple more bricks. So I'll do the same thing. I'll right click here, I'll click on copy, and then on unsaved, I'll do paste. So this is how you would do it in Fusion, how you would copy paste. These are called components. There's other environments like SolidWorks in which doing something like this is a lot easier. It's not as straightforward here. So you do again, right click there, you go here to copy, document settings, I'll do paste. There we go. So we got all of our bricks. So now I want to make like a row with all of these bricks, right? So how would you do that? Then you would go to where it says assembly or assemble, and I'll click in joint. So joint is how Fusion refers to putting things together. So this one, because it's our core brick, it becomes transparent. So I can select all of these ones. So what I'll do is I want to select, for instance, this outer, or I can select, for instance, yes, I'll do this circle. And that's why I made you create all of those circles, right? So now I can go to our core brick and I'm gonna select this circle in here. So as you can see, it comes together very nicely. And I can do the same thing, say, with this one. I can go to assemble, joint, and I'm gonna select this outer circle. And then I'm gonna select that line in there. And see how it's slowly coming together. and we're building a row. Now, because our original brick, which is that one, was fixed in space, so is this row of bricks, while this fourth one, right, I can still move it around. So then let me bring this one, right? So I'm gonna go here to assemble, joint. I click on that circle, and I click there. I'll say okay. Now, if you want to, you see down here, you can see all of your joints. So I can right click here and say edit joint. So for instance, this is the axis that goes along this direction. Actually, I'm not yet. Let's see what happens if I do. Where did it go? Actually, I don't know where it went, but I'll go back to 0. Let me try 90 here. No, I'll do 0. Let's see. Yeah, don't play too much around. Oh, I should do the angle. I see. Ah, that's funny. So you see, like you can make a row of bricks in whichever way you want. You can play around. You can make it go. I mean, this one wouldn't work. So I'll go back to 0. Now, let's say that I'm happy with this row of bricks. So what I'm gonna do is I'll save it actually. So I'm gonna call it row. Let's call it row 1. I literally saved this row of bricks. It's as tedious as this. You'll see why, because now I'm gonna go here to file, new design, and again in show data, and I'm gonna go to row 1, and I'm gonna insert the current design. So now I have the row of bricks that I just made. I'm bringing it back to our environment. So why is this helpful? It's because of the following reason, because now the row of bricks is interpreted as a single part. So then I click in row 1 and I say, yes, I want to ground it. And then I go here to copy and then back to unsaved and I'll say paste. So now I can copy paste 4 bricks instead of just 1 at the same time. And why is this important? Because now, let's say I want to build a wall, right? One classic Lego design, which is the wall. So I'm gonna go here to assemble, go to joint, and now I want this circle, right? And you'll see in a moment, I want this circle to be aligned with this one right here. So you see, yes, it's aligning it like that, but I want to bring it up by some amount. So I'm gonna bring it up like that, right? So you see that now I have a wall. So these two are aligned, but the problem is that I want that to be flush with that surface. So what I'll do is I'll go to where it says inspect, and let me change, I should probably change the units of this thing to millimeters real quick. And now I can inspect the distance between here and here. And that is 18.44 millimeters. Okay, so why is that important? Because then I go back to our original joint, I click in edit joint, and then over here, I'm gonna say maybe minus 18.44 millimeters. Or maybe I should say plus. Oh, there we go. So now it's all flush. I measure that distance and it's now all brought together. So now we got our wall. Let's bring yet one more layer. Let's continue practicing in here, right? So I'll go here to, as usual, copy, and then to unsaved, and I'll go here to paste. Capture procedure, doesn't matter. Okay, good. And I got this row, and now I want to paste it like up there, right? So we'll do the same exercise. I will say that I want this one. I mean, there's all sorts of way of doing it. For instance, I can click on that edge and that edge, and it's gonna be aligned, but I want the height difference to be, so it was 9.6 by 9, so I'll say 9.6 times 2. There we go. Oh, that looks very nice in here. And I'm gonna bring yet one more layer. So let's do it. Copy. It's getting interesting, right? Like slowly becoming more of a wall. I'll see paste in here. It's okay. I can move it around. And now I'll do the exact same thing. Assemble, joint, this line, that line, but I want the offset along here to be 9.6 times 2. There we go. So there we go. We got ourselves a wall. So now one last thing that I'll do before we wrap up is that I will save this again, and I'm gonna save this as row 2, because now we can build all 4 walls using something like this. So we'll go here to File, New Design, and then let's bring row 2 in here, insert the current design. So here's what I'll do. I'm gonna go here, actually, okay. Go to row 2, first ground it, and then copy, go to unsaved, and go to paste. Just move it around in there. So now, what I can do is go to that one and say that I wanna, where is it? I wanna move it. No, here, move. So I wanna rotate it along the, I think it's the y-axis, I'm not sure. No, maybe it's this one. There we go, excellent. I can just, let's rotate it like that. Maybe, yes, I want that to fit in there, right? So the way that we're gonna do that is super easy. We'll just select, we'll do here, assemble, joint, here, and there. Boom. There we go. We got ourselves a little quadrant in here. Now, you guys didn't design this piece, the one that I'm gonna bring in a moment, which is this one. But I'll show you in the YouTube video how to do it. I'll say, okay, that's like a, like a plate. And as you can see on this piece, right, it's like very computationally heavy. Only one of the stats have the Lego detail. Because if I had replicated the Lego thing on each one of the stats, it would have crashed the computer. In fact, it did crash like 3 times. So I gave up at some point. So sometimes you have to, do a trade-off between the level of detail and, computational. Maybe I'm not using the right computer with a graphics card and all of that stuff. But I mean, the last thing that I want to do here is bringing this to the floor, right? So the best way to do it is say that, I don't know, I want, actually, I'm gonna go here to assemble, I do joint, and say that I want like this joint or that peg to be aligned with like that one. So that's what I'll do. But now I'm gonna do an offset of negative 9.6 times 4. Let's see where that takes us. Millimeters. Oh, there we go. Maybe that should be positive. Who would that work? Yes, I think it works. So 9.6, you guys remember, is the height of the brick. That's why I'm always using like 9.6. And there you go, you got something that attempts to look like a Lego house. I don't think all of the dimensions are fine because clearly something is wrong over there. But I'm satisfied with this so far. Let's see. Maybe I should have grounded. There we go. So we'll just leave it like that. I'll make a better video afterwards explaining a lot of these things. But hopefully you got an overview. So let me just jump again into the PowerPoint in here. Yeah, so that's what I had attempted to do. So today was the last class, right? But we learned a lot together, but the journey ahead of us, right? Let me just go here. It's farther, but hopefully many of you guys will become engineers. If you don't, it's still like a useful skill to have. But so what can you do next? As I told you before, I did teach a version of this class on a much better software that's called SolidWorks. You can find all of the videos if you just Google that. It's MIT open courseware. Like it's like a website, you can literally find it there, the class. Otherwise, there you can take exams related to SolidWorks to show your proficiency. Or my next project will be related to the bottom right, which is related to Onshape. because I think, I'm a big believer in open education, right? Just allowing more people to learn. And that software is the one that is truly open source. You don't need any accounts. You can always use it for free. So that's what I'm planning on. I'm not sure in what form yet, but doing something related to that this coming summer. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, quoting my sensei Jackie Chan, great actor and great kung fu master, I would say. If you've seen Karate Kid 4, first Karate Kid 4 has nothing to do with karate; it's actually kung fu. So that the title is misleading. But what is not misleading is the phrase in there that life is about practicing a lot. You've learned some of this stuff. It's a little taste, right, of this beautiful universe, but it's up to you to practice it a lot. So hopefully it's gonna go well. That being said, thank you for coming. It was gorgeous having you all, seeing you learn. We learned a lot, I think. Definitely we learned a lot, and I hope you guys did too. So thank you very much. Yes, I'll just stop here. All right, folks. As promised, I wanted to do an extension of what we did in class today, which is regarding assemblies, and I want to do something a little bit more complicated, and hopefully go over a little bit more how assemblies work here in the Fusion 360 environment. I would say it's not ideal. I'm not the biggest fan of Fusion 360 to do assemblies, but we'll give it a shot. So as usual, I'm going to use the Lego brick that I did specifically for today's class. So I'll bring it here, insert in the current design. And you see this one has, I'll say, okay, it's just a standard red Lego brick. And as usual, what I can do is, first thing first, I'm going to ground this one, which means that now I cannot move it in space. And I can right click here and go to copy. And then in unsaved, I just do paste. And it will appear there. I'm just going to bring it like that. And I'm going to do the same thing with 4 more. Maybe, yeah, I'll see how many more I'll use. Maybe I'll bring 8 just to practice together. So I'll do copy. Then I'll do paste. I'll bring them like that. So you can see this one, our main brick is fixed, but all the other ones, I can just move them around. Very good. What I wish I could do is copy more at the same time. Unfortunately, I cannot. Like, look, I can, let's say capture procedure doesn't care. I could potentially say, click on these two and say copy. Whenever I go to document settings and I go to paste. Oh, actually it did paste too. Okay, that is actually very convenient. Maybe then I can actually do that. I don't think, what I think is not possible is to say establish a mate, say between these two, and now like copy them. And oh, yeah, I'll bring them like that. Okay, good. Maybe that doesn't sound too bad. Let me actually try something. Say I chose 7 and 8. 7 and 8, 6 and, right, 6 and 7 are these two, right? Let me try something here. I'll go here to assemble, then join, and I can say join them through that edge. And that's fine. Like there's multiple ways in which you can also try to measure the different height and whatnot. And you can see I can copy paste them. However, if I were to, well, let me just hide. There we go. If I were to go to 6 and 7 right now, oh, I want to copy them. Let's see, will it allow me to do it? Paste. Good. But have you preserved the mate or not? No. So that's precisely what I was referring to. So these two actually, I don't need them. So that's the problem, that whenever you copy paste, when you do that in SolidWorks, mates are preserved. While here in Fusion, the joints, not mates, are not preserved. It's not a problem. We just need to do it always manually. But when you're doing large scale assemblies, like what this Lego house will eventually become, it's not the best thing in the planet, right? So that's So that's fine. So I'm just gonna copy, just gonna bring these two. I'm just creating pairs for now. Here we go. And now what I want to do is maybe select all of these and go here to here, modify, then move and copy. And I can just say, well, components, right? I can say, all right, I want to maybe move, I want to rotate this. I don't know what axis here. And it's 90 degrees. Let's see if it works. Yes, very good. So I'm going to drop that in there and I'll do the same thing over here. Modify, rotate. It is these two components that I want to use. Yes, axis 90. Would that work? Yes. Okay. So we got that in here. So very easy stuff now because I can go here to joint and I can select, say, this edge and that edge. And it's gonna come to like the same plane. However, we know that the height of these bricks are 9.6. So I'm gonna say that I wanna offset this by 9.6 millimeters, right? Because the units are inches. I forgot to change it to inches. Yeah, actually, I could do it here. I'll just say that these are millimeters. Good. And I'll do the same thing here. Assemble, joint that edge and this edge. But I'm gonna offset that by 9.6. Excellent. So I'm building, a little tower. Joint. And I'll offset by 9.6. Good. Okay, so I'm happy with this. I'm a little bit lazy. So what I'll do is I'm gonna save this as, I'll call it tower 1 to give you an idea, right? So I'm gonna save. So then the next thing I'm gonna do is starting yet one new design. And in this new design, surprise, surprise, I'm gonna go here and say insert the current design. So now I'm gonna start playing around with this tower. And this tower, I'm gonna ground it in place. So in essence, now I got I call it a multi-component component, which is made, as you can see, all of these ones. And apparently I can just click in this one, right? And that is the one brick and say, all right, let's make that one yellow. You get an idea. I won't do it in all of them, right? But actually, I don't think it might not work. I didn't see the warning. I would have wished to. Oh, in our end. Yeah, doesn't matter. Maybe we'll figure it out. We'll just leave it as red. It doesn't matter for now. But I bet there's probably a way to change the colors of components here, of these multi-component components. Well, the point here is that yes, that has been grounded good. So I'm gonna copy this and go here and paste. And we'll do this a couple of times. Well, actually, yes, I think I'll do it a couple of times. I'll go here, copy 8 times actually to be precise. I'll just leave it like that so you can see this one cannot move it. Oh, actually, yes, this one. I don't think I grounded it properly. I'm not sure why this boy is moving in space, but well, it's not gonna matter much right now. All I need is a bunch of copies of these ones for now. We'll do copy and let's paste. Capture, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Because I'm gonna stack them together to some extent. So copy, paste. I will say that I'm more, the way I come to do Fusion 360, right, is with I guess a SolidWorks mentality or a SolidWorks workflow. So that's why I never formally learned how to use Fusion 360, which is fine. It's not the end of the world, but that's why I probably maybe there's some stuff to the assembly creation process that I'm not familiar with that could be useful in this instance. Not the end of the world, because now what I'll do is I'll start doing some cool stuff, right? For instance, I'll come here and I'll join these two, and I'll say that I want to offset that by, in this case, 9.6 millimeters times 4. So what does that create? Actually, I don't know. I should probably do the joint. Do it. There we go. Maybe that sounds a little bit more. Well, that's interesting. Just edit this in here. Oi. Do Control Z. Let me just. There we go. Okay. Let's do it again. We're gonna do joint. Yeah, I'll say okay. Now you see, this is not what I would have wanted to do. So maybe let me edit this. Let me edit this joint for a moment. There'll be another way of doing it. Well, maybe select here. No, just cancelled. I'll redo it again. Oi. There. Assemble joint here and there. Yes. So I'm gonna offset downwards negative 9.6 millimeters. Okay. I think this should work. Good. So we got one of our columns. Let's do our next column in here. So let's go here to assemble joint 1, 2. Good. And I'll offset by 9.6 millimeters. Good. For ourselves another column. Let's do this one in here. So it's gonna be a purely red column, but I guess bricks in real life are red. So this is not bad. And let's see. I'm gonna leave it like this. And this is a good example where, well, first things first, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna I'll bring it to millimeters. Good. Now I'm gonna go to inspect measure. I'm gonna measure the distance between here and and here. And it's telling me it's 8.46 millimeters. Excellent. Why am I doing this? Because now I can go back to this joint, say edit joint, and over here I'll say that I want to subtract what was it? 8.0 millimeters. Actually cancel. I completely forgot already. Let me see if I can just measure it like that. 8.46. Good. Okay. Joint 46. Good. So now it's completely stuck. Good. And let's finish our last column over here. It's gonna be like this. So we'll do assemble joint. I'll do this one. We're gonna do that one. Very good. Okay. Joint. Oh wow, I do not know why it is acting like this right now. I don't know what I can do. Let me just save this for a moment. I call it Lego house. Okay, now double joint. There's one of these is mm, oh, there we go. Okay, and I'm gonna bring this up. It's just starting to lag a little bit, which is fine, not a problem. So now we'll go here to inspect, measure 1 and 2. You see it's 3.2. Good. So I can go here to edit, rejoin, and I'll say that I want to subtract minus 3.2. I say okay. Yeah, now we got our 4 columns. Very good. Save. And I'm gonna bring our 20 by 20 plate. So let's do that right now. So insert the current design. Terrific. Yeah, I like it there. So I'm gonna start aligning my parts. In the sense that, oh, let me just go here. So I come like that and say that I want, say, that point to be aligned with that point. So we'll do here joint, and I'm gonna say, all right, this circle and that circle have to be readily aligned. But something interesting that it seems I may have messed up in the design of the green plate is that I think I did correctly the dimensions of this red Lego brick and not on the green plate. So I'm gonna go back to the green one in some point, maybe in just a second. And I can also show you how to make the green plate as well, um, because you see the holes don't match up. It's still not a problem because I'm just gonna bring this up by, let's see, would 9.6 work? Yes, I think 9.6 might actually work. Good. I think that is flush with the surface. Oh, well, but I should have actually, that's funny. Times, times 8. There we go. Now, yes, that is completely flush. Now, yes, I like this, and I'm gonna save the file. At the same time, I'm gonna open this one in here. And just check where did I mess up in the design. Yeah, so let's go here to edit rectangular pattern. So apparently, if you do, yes, I did 20 and 188, and that clearly is wrong because you would want the distance if it's 4, and then so it's always 9. So what is 19 times? Let's find it 1 second. 19 times 8. Oh, there we go. 52. Yes. So apparently this has to be a lot smaller. Um, yes. 152. I don't know. Maybe this might do the trick. It worked. Let's go back to our Lego house. Actually, it actually seems better now. No, not really. Oh, because yes, it didn't update the. Did I? Actually, I don't think I saved this. I have to save it. I have to go here. And I'll say, what are you complaining about? Get latest version. Okay. And this does seem more correct. That's good. Yeah, maybe I'll I'll just leave it. It's gonna be a more interesting house layout. I'll just change it in a second. Let's just continue placing our structure. But now I'm gonna align. Oh, let me just move here. Join. And I'm gonna choose this one. And for the offset, I'll do as usual 9.6 times 8. Okay, good. I'm not sure whether this is gonna be a house or more Lego structure. You see, let's say we're running short of bricks today. So I'll do here, join here, and I'll choose that over there. And I'll say 9.6 times 8. Good. And just to finish over there. Okay. So I'll go here to joint. Then that one. And then 9.6 times 8. Okay. Yeah, I'm satisfied with this. Maybe we should save right now. Good. And I'm gonna do a quick edit on the size of this structure. Super easy thing, because all I'm gonna do is I'll go here to sketch, and I will just make a construction line, goes all the way like this. Yeah, maybe like that. And I go here to create. I can go to sketch dimension. I'm gonna assign. Oh, actually, I forgot to create one line, which is this one. There we go. Sketch dimension, and I will make this be so 8 times 20. And this one also be 8 times 20. So that's the size of a 20 by 20 brick, because you know that if you look at the Lego drawing, 8 millimeters is like the standard size. So now what we can do is just draw a regular rectangle that goes all the way like this, and then all the way like that. So I can just go to solid and extrude cut those two parts. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Good. It's just yes, the shell command in here is not gonna look as appropriate, so I can just modify that real quick. Maybe I'll delete this fillet. It wouldn't make a difference. Let's see now. I'll go here, and all I'm gonna do is maybe I can do the offset tool. Oh, but I don't want to do a chain. I just want to offset these two guys by 1.2 millimeters inwards. There we go. I want to see how that would look like in there. Yes, exactly what I want, because then I can just complete the rectangle. Let's finish like this. Good. Go here to solid and say to object up to here. Excellent. Now we got our Lego stud. And now, yes, I can go back here, select all of those edges. Here, 4, and call that 0.1. And say, okay. So how did I design this part? I know it's like an intermission, I suppose, to our design of our Lego assembly. But this is actually super easy. I just started, I can go all the way to the beginning, right? I just started, well, the dimensions of these are wrong, right? You should use the dimension that I had previously, but it's very similar to the design of the Lego brick. I just brought this up, and the distance that I brought this up, if you go here, let me just edit in here. I made it 9.6/3, right? Because these little plates are a third. Three of these stuck together make the height of a regular brick. So what else did I do? Then I shelled, just like we did before, on the interior side. We go here to edit. Yes, it was by 1.2. And then I did a stud, right? And the studs are, the same way. That's 4 millimeters, 4 millimeters, 4.8 millimeters, as we did it on the brick. And then what is that? I believe it's this little hole in there, even though I'm not patterning this hole because it's computationally very expensive. And that is the Lego sign. It's exactly like that. Yeah, a couple of billets, and then you got the rectangular pattern. So relatively easy part to make. So I'm gonna actually save it. I'm glad it's working well right now. So then we go to our assembly. It's gonna complain, but I'm gonna tell it get latest version. So it's not gonna complain, and now this is looking a lot better. And I'll say save. Good. So now let's try to give this some form of roof structure, I suppose. So this is gonna be a house with no roof, I suppose. A big window, big windows it's gonna have. And then what else can we make? Yeah, we'll make it an easy thing, not too complicated. Um, but we'll see. I'm curious to see how this is gonna look like. So let me do a little bit of the roof structure. So I can fit, if I'm not mistaken, 8 blocks across because you have 2, then 8, then 2 more. Let's see, maybe I might fit 16. Yes, I think that's what I'll do. Okay, so let me go here to I'll do a new design. Easy. So in here, I'm gonna bring zero good design. Good. I'll say okay. And now I'm gonna ground this one, and I'll say copy. And we'll just create a bunch of these guys. Yeah, that's fine. Paste, 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 paste. Another one. Boom. So I want to make, you'll see in a moment, right, how this is going to look like. Um, good. So I'm going to leave this like this. Okay. So let's start joining them. So I'll do 1, then 2. I believe you type the J letter in your keyboard, it does the trick as well. Something to have in mind. So this bad boy, what I'll do is I want to rotate it. There we go. So modify, move, actually components. There we go. I'll say 90 degrees. Great. And what I want to do is join it right here. Terrific. And now we're going to build a layer on top of this. And the way we do this is as follows. We going to insert, oh, cancel. We're design. So I need 10 more bricks, right? That way we do like a double layer in here. So out of this bad boy, I'll say copy, and I'll say paste. Position doesn't matter. Okay. Can I just paste it here? Oh, yes, I don't need to go to document, it's fine. Save me a little bit of time, not a lot of time. So let's see how we're gonna do this. We're gonna go here to assemble, joint. I'm gonna choose this line. We're gonna choose that line. And I'm gonna bring it up by 9.6 millimeters. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing over here. Go here to J1. Oh, actually that, there we go. Do J. So it's a tedious process, as you can see, just building a house. But I think it's worth it in the end. And now I'm gonna make this one be oriented like that. So go here, modify, move, components. I'll choose that one. Axis, yeah, it doesn't matter. 90, good. So last thing is to make the following joint. Is right there. 9.6 millimeters. Otherwise, you wouldn't understand. So let's save this structure in here. I'm gonna call it L. Why not? Something along these lines. And now what we can do is go here to file, new design. And what we'll do is start to bring, I'm gonna bring this boy. So insert the current design. Good. So now what I can say is, yes, I can round it, not that it makes a difference. And then copy. And I'm gonna paste 4 of these. So I'll paste the first one. Oh, then I'll paste the next one. And I'll paste one more. So how is this gonna work? Well, in the following way. Then we go here to modify, move, what I should say, yeah, components, say that one, right? I'm gonna move it around that axis and say 90 degrees, right? Oh, I think I selected definitely the wrong axis. There we go. Good. So we have our first one, right? Let's see how this is gonna, if it's gonna fit. Maybe I messed up, and I think I did the interface. Maybe that brick shouldn't be there. I think it shouldn't. Yes, these two actually shouldn't be there. But let me go back to here. Let me see what happens if I delete these two. I can actually hide it, right? Okay. What happens if I go here? Have you updated itself? No. Well, actually, I should save. And now, yes, let me just update all of these, get latest version. Good. Would this help a little bit? No, I think I should have done the complete opposite corner. Mm, mm, mm. Or maybe not. Maybe this might work. Actually, yes, I think it might, because if, let me select, I think it was that one, right? Let me just move copy. Let me do this by 180. I can bring all of that there, right? So then I have, okay, maybe this is looking more promising. Let me just bring this here. And I'm gonna align these two, or actually, let's go back here. Okay, J. You see, it's starting to get tricky whenever you have a lot of parts. Yeah, but that section, there we go. Okay, so now we got that frame structure. So I'm gonna then turn, which one is this one? That's L4. Let's see, can I move you? I'm gonna, oh, I do not wanna do that. Oh, move copy. Yes, let me select an axis. Oh, here. See, 90 degrees. What are you gonna do? Okay. Okay, not bad, not bad. So let's go here, do joint. J, okay. Yeah. Oh, so now we got our last part in here. Good. So I'm gonna click in L3. So I'll do here, modify, move, and yes, L3. And there we go. I think 90 degrees should do the trick. Excellent. And indeed, if I click on the letter J in the keyboard, I can click in here, then click in there, and say, okay. Now, you could potentially make this a closed roof. I am not going to do that because it is a lot of work and more that I want to put right now into this thing, but you could potentially add a couple more layers here. For now, I'm just going to save this. I'll call it open roof. I'll say save. Because now we can go to our, actually, this one I can close. We can go back to our big assembly, which is somewhere around here. There we go. You see it's starting to, the graphics start to lag a little bit. And we go to open roof and I can say insert into current design. Yeah, excellent. Now I can just bring this bad boy all the way here. And the way that we're gonna do this is I wanna align, we're gonna do joint, this circle and that circle. Yes, exactly like that, with an offset of 9.6. All right, so let's see how that looks. Okay, doesn't look bad at all. Yes, and you can add a couple more parts. And here it looks like a nice symmetrical structure, I would say. So let's just to wrap this up, let me first save. There's just one more design that I want to do. For this one, I guess I'll insert this one. I'll make it white walls, right? This is the CAD brick that I designed earlier. So I'll say, okay, this one looks nice. We can just ground it in here. We're gonna make a very quick wall. So I'll say copy, and then Command B. Oh, I can do Command B, which is a lot better. Yeah, I'm slowly starting to get the gist of some of the shortcuts that one could use here. So we'll do J. Just like that. And J. Oh, you see, it's not doing much now. Okay, good. By 9.6 in. No, millimeter. There we go. And we're gonna do the same thing here. Good. So I'll call this um actually just to make it look kind of nice, right? What we could do is let me add 3 more of these. gonna be a free brick tall wall. Let me go here, modify, and go to our friend, move, yes. I wanna rotate you by 90 degrees. I'm gonna do the same thing with you. Mm. Rotate you by 9 degrees. Excellent. And now the reason why I did that is because I want to now go here to join. Yeah, that looks all right. Let me cancel. Let me say that has to be at the same height, I think. There. And I'll bring it down by negative 9.6 times 2 millimeters. Would that look? Yeah, I think that's fine. Excellent. We'll do the same thing over here. Okay. There we go. There we go. Negative 9.6 times 2 millimeters. And just last and not least, I can make a little wall there. So I go here to assemble joint. I can make use of the fact that these bricks have these modified circles. So then I can just equate them here. Quick and easy. Okay, so we got a nice little wall. I like it. Nice design. Let's call this wall. Good. So let's go back to our part in here. Yes. Over there. Oh, where did it go? House. Oh, here. Excellent. So now, in our list of parts, let me go here to wall and internal current design. Yeah, so this one is already oriented in the way that we want because it's gonna go out there in the back. However, for I'm gonna do a copy. I'm gonna paste. It doesn't matter. Good. For this guy, I'm gonna rotate it 90 degrees. So go here to modify, move. Yes, this bad boy. But maybe I should have that. Check that. See that. 90. Okay. And now, hopefully, I can paste it. Capture position. There we go. That way I don't need to rotate two of these guys. I could also have used the mirroring function as well, which a bunch of other ways. If you go here to assemble, I believe there should be ways to, use, or maybe I don't see it right now, but to make like rectangular packet patterns within assemblies. That is something I would need to personally explore. I'll probably continue doing some more complicated stuff. This is using the most simple of mates that there is to see. That is fine. And now I will here to joint. I will choose this and I will choose that. Yes. Ourselves a little wall. Now let's do the same thing here. Let's click on drain. Here, let's click there. That's fine because what I'll do is I'm gonna go here to inspect, measure, and I wanna see the distance between these two. Now I'm being told that that distance is 4.8. Good. So now I can go here to edit joint and I'll say that on the Z, I wanna offset by 4.8. So now that brings it to our correct height. Now, as for our third guy, right here, we're gonna do a similar thing. Oh, J here. Here. Sometimes it doesn't react, right? You tell it to move and it doesn't move. You're wondering, how is this supposed to behave? Wait, let's try again. Maybe I'll try first with this. Okay. And maybe one thing I could do with a plate is this I can definitely ground. Now, where did it go? I don't see it. Okay, so okay, good. Yeah, so this looks pretty decent. I like it. One thing, yes, I think we can probably stop here. If you have more patience, more than I do, you can probably continue adding more details to that. But I think this should give you like a nice overview of how to make some. You see, like my computer started to crash with these things, so it's like probably the limit to how much Fusion 360 I can do. But I think this is looking pretty nice as an attempt to make a Lego house or Lego mausoleum, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you at some point in the future again. Bye bye. Hi, folks. Just one thing that I forgot to mention is that I just realized this when I was appreciating this beautiful design is that it turns out that you know this is wrong. Like this should be a little bit farther up. So I was looking into the mates. So we need to find the one that this one corresponds to. I believe it's might be this one right here. Let's see edit joint where that takes us. Yeah. Um, maybe that should be ×2, actually. And yes, that is actually correct now, because before it was I digging into there. Another thing that you can realize is that I changed a little bit of, if you look in here, like all of the mate relation ones, all of these joint relations, I hid them. Although these ones I'm not sure to what they actually correspond to, but the way you do that is, if I say you go here to open roof, right? What I did is I went to where it says joints and I hid them all. Oh, actually, I should also get latest version here. So now what I can do is click on save. You have to do this for every single, yeah, let's say get latest version. That's fine. So that should be saved if I'm not mistaken. So now if I go to the Lego house, right now, if I were to save, actually, hold on, open roof B2. Give me one moment. I just wanna, right, there we go. Yes, I just wanna hide these guys and now save. So you see how I hid like the joint relations. Here is upload progress. Let's see how it goes. Excellent. So now, yes, we go here and it's going to give us a warning sign. So I'll right click there and I'll say get latest version. You can do that for every single part. So now, yes, now we do have our house, which is looking pretty decent. Yeah, so thank you for tuning in. Now, yes, see you next time. Bye bye. Alrighty, there's one thing that I forgot to mention about our previous video, which is that you can actually animate all of this stuff. Because yes, we built all of this thing and it looks very pretty. And I was about to forget about showing you guys how to do it, but actually you can show how this assembles itself. And it's super simple to do. You can go here to where it says design, go to animation, and yes, this tab in here appears. So let's walk in it, let's walk through this together, right? For instance, you can go here to say I'm gonna move this bar in here, right? And I'm in this thing that's called storyboard. Right now, actually, I should probably create. There we go. I'll create one, which is where we are right now. Well, we were in storyboard one, right? I'll delete this one, but now you know how to create one. So about second number 3. So I'm gonna click in here, it says transform components. And what does that do? I can, for instance, click in, say, that brick, right? Or maybe I can do, yes, like that one should be fine. You see, I can move that brick upwards. I wanna see if I can click more than just one brick. Let's see, I wanna click 3 bricks, all of this old quantity. There we go. Good. Oh wow, this is a pretty cool thing. Yes, I guess I'll leave it like that. I'm not even sure how this happened, but what this is pretty cool is that look at this animation, right? I can just say I can just play the button in just a moment, but if you let it go, it's as if it was animating itself, and then I can collapse it, obviously. Right, so we got that. So now that we are at, say, second 3, another thing that I can do is right over here. And also every time that I move, say, my camera, right, in a particular way, that's also gonna be the case here, unless I went here to view and I disable this view. So it's pretty good, right? So now I'm like all zoomed in, and I can select in, say, go here to transform and click in all of the bricks. I can bring the up like that. Boom. I can say, yeah, okay. But did that happen? All right. Yes, they did happen. They're just down there. Very good. So now I'm gonna go over to, say, a second then, and I'm gonna say that I want to transform, say, and I'm right clicking here, all of these bricks like this. And say, okay. So now you look at the entirety of the video. Let's see if we can play it for a second. Where's the our friend the play button? Let me see whether oh, here. It's quite funny. I can also get rid of like these guys if I don't like them. And just do something like this. So say I'm not even sure where we started, right? But if you were to look at this, yes, I think it starts like that. So it's like slowly zooming out. And I think that looks a lot smoother in terms of a transition. Okay, so now we reach this point. That looks pretty decent. And then in the next 13 seconds, perhaps what I want to do is transform, say, all of these bricks. Let's see if I can. First, I'm gonna disable the video. There we go. So view is not recording, which means whatever I do is not gonna be recorded, which is fine. Let me get not rid of all of these blocks. I just want to move them sideways, right? So I'm gonna select like all of them. Very good. I'll say transform, yeah. And move them to the side, just like that. Okay. Yeah, so that's a lot of bricks. So now I want the view to come back. So I'll say yes. There we go. So how would that work? That is moving to the side. Excellent. Good. So now let me just not record the view for a second. We ended up here. Probably what I will want to do. There we go. I want to zoom in here. And I will, or maybe a little bit less, maybe like that. I will transform. Wait, there we go. One, two. I will do one layer at a time. I'll bring it up. And then let's see if it allows me. It goes like that. Good. Then in the next, say like 2 seconds, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna yes. I'm gonna transform. I'm gonna bring it up and then take it to the side. I like this. And then in the next 24 seconds, I'm gonna transform. I don't even know where these are going from. I'll just leave it like that. The next 3 seconds, I'll do the exact same thing. And you don't see it, but if you go down here, yes, it's creating all the animations as the way we want it. So here I'm just hitting on the control key. The way this is all showing. Boom. Transform. Where's the side? Okay. Actually, good. Second 42. And transform. Grab. And we'll bring it to the side. Good. So now a couple of things I'll do is that again, now it's becoming a little bit of a long video, but I'm really enjoying this. So I'll select now each one of these layers. So maybe I'll do it individually. So like this. Is one of the bricks move at the end? Yes, that one moved. In the span of this time, also we'll move that one. We'll do like a quick, like a fire. I'm not sure how this is gonna look, but it's worth trying around. I'm just playing around in here. Obviously, in your free time, you can. This is what I like it because growing up, you always see all of these Lego commercial videos where they're building Legos and it's like magically all falling down. And it's maybe it was done in a similar way to the way we are doing it. You never know. Now let me select, and then oh, there we go. Then bring all these guys up. Yeah, good. And then let's select them again. Bring it to the front. Cool. Okay. And now I'm just gonna select do all of the layers. So 24 and 8, and say 200. One, two, three, 4. 50. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. I have it. And now that we've done all this, I want to zoom out to see the mesh that we created. Well, that looks stellar. Okay, so let's see what does all of this look like. Yeah, so the bricks are starting to get out. Very good. The roof coming out. All the layers, yes, taking them out, sending them sideways, magically all going. Oh, that's funny. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. This is great. Yeah, maybe just gonna leave it more into the future. Do like here. There we go. And now what I would like to see is whether there will be a way to invert all of this stuff. Let's see. If I go, let's say, all the way to here, I'm not sure whether this is gonna work, but let's see. What would that do? Well, that didn't create it. Didn't create anything. I would need to maybe select all of them. We'll see. Oh, yeah, it's gonna take a while to load. But if it does work, then I have a feeling that this technique could definitely do the trick. In other words, just collapse everything again to its original configuration. And now in SolidWorks is definitely possible. Although here what we're doing is an animation that also serves as an exploded view, which is a pretty cool thing, right? Because then when we do drawings as well, you could potentially do a drawing of an exploded view, such as this one. Okay, so now it seems that it might select thing is lagging a little bit. So let's wait. Let me see. If I click on, yes, I know what, right. So that one goes all the way to where it has to go. True. So maybe I'm gonna do the exact same. Yeah, I'll select all of you guys manually, it seems. All right, let me send you restore home. Good. Let me for a moment. Yes, you're recording. Now we can continue selecting all of these bricks. I'm curious about how this thing that I'm doing will end up looking like after the animation, after we end up selecting all of them. Good. A couple of layers that are missing. Let's see. Is everything being restored? Mostly, besides these two. Okay, so let's see how would this look. Mm, okay. I'm not sure what was the view here, right? Yep. Oh, I see. Now it's here. Oh, nice. As it shown collapsing. Mm, there we go. That looks good. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's see the collapse of this thing. So it's slowly trying to come on down. Yeah, very good. And we are like moving away, rotating a little bit our view. Oh, that's a great video. I like it. All right, so now that we're satisfied with this, I'm just gonna post this and all that. Yes, there's a bunch of configurations, but I can do here a publish. So here, yes, storyboard, current window size. Actually, I could potentially do it 16 by 9. How would that look? Okay, yes, an Abby. I click save. Actually, I'll save it to my computer. There we go. So we can wait for that. In any case, I just wanted to show you how to do a video because it might be a useful thing to do in the future. So yes, and also an expert view with the video. So thank you very much for tuning in.
Fly away 体中に広がるパノラマ けられた地球が起こって火山を爆発させる溶けた氷の中に恐竜がいたら玉乗りしこみたいねチャラヘチャラ何が起きても気分はへのへのかったチャラ
One last thing that I do want to show you how to do before we wrap up is how to take a block, say like this one, or just any design, and make an engineering drawing, which is what we used to actually make the block in the first place. So one thing that we can do is go here to design and go to drawing. So design drawing and then click in where it says from design. Right, so I'm gonna click right there. And yes, it's a full assembly, it doesn't matter, right? Just say this. Yes, I'll create it manually. Yeah, I'll create a new one. Oh, yes, I'll use the ISO standard for now, or actually I'll use the ask me. In here, units I'll use millimeter, sheet size. I think A. Yes, 11 by 8.5. What was sheet size B? Oh, that's ginormous. So A. Yeah, I think that looks fine. And I wanted landscape. Okay. So let's see where this takes us. To this new environment. And this one here, this is called the drawing environment. So let me just hide this for a second. There we go. So I'm gonna bring my brick, right? And so it's asking you to insert views. And I think the very first view that I wanna insert is the top one, which is this one right here. And it's asking you for scale. So let's see what the scale. This one might be a little bit too big, but let's see what about 3. 3 is fine. Actually 3 is not too bad. Maybe I'll bring this view here. And then you can actually bring more views, but for now, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. Yes, let's say okay. And now there's a couple of things that I'm gonna start doing. For instance, I'm gonna create auxiliary views. So one of the views I want is the, let's see, let's see if I can do another one. Select edge, but I wanna, actually, let me do projected view more than, there we go. The view that I want is this one that's called the isometric. And this isometric view, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it right here. So I click here where it says projected view. I'm gonna leave this bad boy around here. And if you double click, these properties appear, and I'm gonna make it shaded. There we go. That way we have an idea of how this drawing looks like. If I click in here, I just wanna do visible edges, which is just the top of our Lego brick. There we go. So then a couple of other things that, oh, let me just hide, there we go. I'm gonna hide this. A couple of other things that we could do is, I'm gonna create a bunch of views. For instance, a view that cuts this in half, and that's called a section view. So how does so parent view is gonna be this. I'm gonna select this point. I'm gonna select this point as well. I'll say, so it allows you to create like very interesting stuff, but for now, I'll say, okay. So it creates a nice cut, right, of our Lego brick. I think this looks pretty symmetrical, right? I'll say, fine, excellent. Just like that, because we're gonna start displaying a bunch of important information. And this view, as you can see, depends on that one up there. Then I can move the arrows. Oh, I see what this is doing. There we go. It's incredible, right? But you see how the view changes a little bit depending on. So probably what I'll do is I will try to draw a center line. I believe I can draw here. Oh, actually, I'll do Control Z. Just get rid of. I'm gonna do another center line that goes between these two. There we go. That way I can use that one. Wait. There we go. That way I can reference these two, those points in there. Let's see. Oh, Andrew. Yeah, I just wanted to move the DA to be right over there. Very good. I'll do the same thing with that A in here. Very nice. Yeah, so we're just gonna make it look nice. In here for this big box, you can double click and you can start writing here. So project, I got it. Wait, let's just go back here. Yes, maybe I might wanna move it around a little bit more. It might seem a little bit constrained in here in the text area. Let's call it. Yeah, AutoCAD almost everything looks good. But I want this to go down in the middle. I'll call it week 501. Okay. I'll say NA. Andy. And today's date is 04/06. 2024. Well, apparently it thinks it's a self, but that's fine. I guess it's gonna, yeah, I'll say just Andy. There we go. I'm wondering whether, there we go. Okay. I wonder whether I can get rid of these lines too. The title block, let's see. Now, if I do edit properties, it takes me here. Let me just move that. Oh, I see. There we go. It was just a matter of just playing around a little bit more. As you can see, right, I just want to make some space. In other words, wait. How it go? Yeah, so we're editing. Let me see if I can come back. There we go. Yes, very good. So we are in this mode where you can add lines if you wanted to. Yeah, and I just want this to go right there. In fact, yes, there we go. It is not straightforward, as you can see. Let's see. How does this look? Oh, that's funny. Let me on the block. Oh, I see. Yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of an interesting movement in here. Let's continue playing around. In fact, I could just bring, let's delete that one. Just bring all of this stuff down. Wait. I can delete that line. I can create just a new one. There. Interesting. There we go. And I'll bring this point all the way like that. All right, let's see how. Oh, wow. So that looks very tiny. Let's continue. Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, this looks somewhat decent. Maybe I'll just play around just a little bit more just to make sure uh, where we are. Code in here, wherever that is. Just move the title. Right there. Okay. Run by. Maybe I can add some of that text in here. Okie dokie. I think that's fine. I wonder why it doesn't appear anymore. See, let me. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Very good. Hey, well, you can play around if you want, but I guess we'll just leave it like this for now. Maybe if I go here to text, I can just add here. Text and say Andy. I'll just put it in there. I can just go. Yeah, yes, you can say something like that. Cancel. There we go. Just like that. Wait. Oh my goodness. Okay. And this one I'll just. I just takes it and it doesn't matter. Okay, so maybe I'll just include one more text line in here. Yeah, I'll call it 35. Or one, something along those lines. And we could potentially make this a lot bigger. So let's make that maybe 0.2, 0.3. There we go. Week 501. Okay, so that took a while to figure out, but now we've cleared out a lot of space in here that will be very, very useful in just a moment. And then I'm just gonna go here, and all of these text that we have here has to be a lot smaller. I don't want this size. So I'll just go here and I'll bring it down to maybe 0.15. And I'm just gonna insert yet one more view. So let's see base view. I'm gonna set that one, and I want a view actually of the bottom, which is, and I need the scale right there, number 3. I'm gonna bring it, yes, right over there. Oh, so I could maybe push. Actually, I'll leave it like that. And I can say that I want it exactly like that. Boom. I'll bring this up. Bring this one up as well, and this one. It's mostly aligned. I mean, ideally it has to be all of it aligned, but because only these two are associated, it's fine. And then I can do a projected view. Let's see from here. Oh, fantastic. Actually, let me see something. Could I do a projected view? Yes, I can. Oh, excellent. So I guess I'll keep that one. I'll get rid of that one. That way, there we go. So now it's all associated. Very good. Now the side view, and I can actually be very explicit about all of this stuff, and I can say, all right, this in here is the side view. Goes. I'm gonna bring that in there, say, okay. I'll move it and I'll say this is the bottom view. Wait, where did it go? I can bring it again. Okay. Let me bring another one. Okay. Oh, there we go, just like that. Okay, so this one we'll call it the section view. Now we are very, 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 very explicit about what we have. And this one is obviously the top view. Okay, so now it's the fun part of the drawing, which is starting to add dimensions in a very, very similar way that we would with a regular drawing. And maybe actually what is the font size of it? That's 12. Just select all of this stuff. And make that 12. That's an A. I'll take this section. Actually, maybe I'll get rid of that one and I'll put this one right here. All right, so this is looking fairly nice. Maybe for consistency, I'll put this on the side. Yeah, so you can be very, very pretty about the way you do drawing. So this one looks pretty good. Okay, so now let's start adding dimensions, right? And so the way you can do it is just going here and start adding numbers, right? So that's a 16. That's a 32. Yeah, it already, from that one, I already know that's gonna be 16. Then I'll add this one is a 9. Then this one, that one is 1.8. Let me see if I can move that numbering. Oh, there we go. It looks pretty up there. Oh. That's fine. And then we can also even, oh my goodness. Actually, we should save this before. Yeah, Lego brick drawing. Before the system crashes. Can even select that height there. Escape. I can click in here and just say yes. Bring it all the way there. You can add a bunch of nodes, for instance. I'm gonna go here. I'll say nodes. All units are in millimeter. That's one of my very first units, one of my very first nodes that I want to add. And I'll leave this one here. And if I come up with other stuff, I'll probably call it node to designer. Nodes. Okay, then we'll see if we come up with other stuff. Okay, so now let's start providing some other dimension, right? For instance, I want to see if I can draw some other, oh, let me just hide this for a second. Let me see. I'm gonna do a center mark. There we go. Just of that Lego symbol, right? And actually, I'll do it in these two as well, right? Just on those two. And the reason why I'm doing that is because now I'm gonna dimension this then actually there is not a number I need. I want to dimension, say everything here and there we go. That's gonna be, yes, 4 millimeters. What about the distance between here and here? That's also 4 millimeters. Let's see, can I? The 4 there, yes. And can I move this 4? What? It's fine, I'll just leave it like that. Not sure. One thing that I could be more consistent with is with the linear precision, right, of all of the dimensions. Well, most of our numbers here, if I want consistency, right, I would do always, there we go. I just want to show, no, the millimeters is not, it's always to two decimal places. Yeah, I don't need to insert any, no need for tolerance. Alternative units, no, sometimes it might be useful. No. But I could click in all of the dimensions and show exactly that. There we go. That way we are being consistent with all of our numbers. I'm just gonna go edit all of these. Oh. That way. There we go. Consistent. 2 decimal places. Good. So there's a lot more information that we need to display. For instance, the size of this circle in here, Again, do decimal places. Very good. Just drop it like that. Or even like the Lego sign, right? I can just make a note that goes all the way from here and says, I'll say I'll close it for now, but I just want to move the orientation of the arrow. There we go, like that. And I'll say, Lego. So we used font, font type, delivery, font size, I think it was 13. If I'm not mistaken. No, 1.3 millimeters. And then center install. Good. Yeah, just a bunch of notes, right? One again. Oh, yeah, we can just move all those characteristics there. Okie dokie, so I think that's slowly starting to move. Well, now another thing that I need to show is, yes, I know that's 4, that's 4. I want to know that distance too. So I'll go here. Like that line. I'll select that line. And I will bring this up. Select that 8. I'll make it double digits. Oh, control. There. I just want that to be perfect. Let's see if I can do the same thing here. Good. Yeah, I mean, I cannot be perfect, but at least when you zoom out, it's not that terrible. And I need to do the same thing over here. Let's see. Yeah, I can leave it like that. Good. And then I need to add in here. Oh, control. There we go, just like that. Look here, that always has the 2 numbers. Okay, and we're gonna move it all the way down here. Good. Now it doesn't interfere with the 8. While this one, we're gonna move it, just like that. That way it all matches nicely our good old format. I think we're done with this side, right? So if you look at this drawing, I think it tells you most information. Oh, actually, not really. I do need to add a note that says, yeah, where am I gonna start? No, probably around here. Saying something along the lines. It takes linear pattern. I'll say start. And there's linear pattern. Okay. So that looks pretty neat, the top side of here. Oh, this I should bring back where it belongs, which is right there. Good. So now we can start playing around with some of these things here, which are not trivial at all. For instance, in here I know that the depth between here and here, that's gonna be 8.4. So I'm just gonna give that the double size. Oh, there we go, just like that. And then one thing that I like, so just for the purposes of this design, right? I don't think I'm gonna point out that feature at all. Like I don't care about that one. That one is just for my own personal stylistic purposes. So don't worry about too much about that one. But what I will worry is that I'm gonna, when we did the shell originally, we established this to be two. So now what I can say is I can add a little note in here says, so let's add a note. Calculate uniform. Yes. And say shell. That way it's explicitly clear what we're doing here. Okay, so I think from here, that is the main information. This is really to see how this bottom side looks like these cylinders. So I'll point out these ones in a moment. For now, maybe what I would do is a similar thing. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna select these, and then I'll do the same thing with these bad boys. And now I'm gonna start defining dimensions in a similar way that we did before. G, oh, do, very good. There we go. That seems fine. Okay. Vaguely on the center. That's excellent. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Let's say, isn't that good? Isn't that good? However, we're being particularly explicit. To decimal places. Decimal places. Let's make it go on like this. Good. Yeah, not bad. I like it. Good. And now we need to do the same thing. Let's see. So that's gonna be, maybe I'll use this side. So I'll go over here. There we go. Just like that. That way we know what's the separation, right? And now we're gonna click on all these. Two, and two. Maybe I might bring them all the way to the inside. They don't interfere. That's pretty good. And now just one more dimension that is important is this one. Oh. Mm. Decimal places. Okay, so a couple of things we need to do is I'm gonna dimension just one of these circles. So I'll say something along the lines of Yes, I'll bring it there, and then I'll give you the let me see linear dimensions. Yes, that was exactly the one I needed. Let me see if I can just pull this. Okay, not like that. Maybe this one I can move it right in here. I also need to modify it. There we go. There we go. Excellent. That was all nicely and aligned. And then I'll add, there's one more note in here that says that we have a times free linear pattern. That's what I'll say. Oh, it should be like this. Times free. There we go. I like it. Okay, so now that's the sort of information you get in there. And I'm gonna say the same thing about these guys too. So I'll go over here. And that's an information I need to mention as well, that there's an extrusion line in towards the inside. So I'll say with a node, it is linear pattern, pocket 1.2 millimeters. Okay, so there's a lot of information, right, that we're displaying on these drawings. And then just to be clear with the uniform wall thickness, I can actually add an additional dimension here that shows exactly that. That way, there's a little bit of redundancy, but it's for clarity. We can see. All right, so with all of these views that we see here, notes designer, yeah, and maybe another one that I could include is number 2, chamfer, no, all sharp edges. Yeah, other than that, I think this is mostly, yeah, this from parent. I do not know whether, let me see, block scale, drawing scale. Yes, I know that's drawing scale. Maybe in this I'm gonna delete that, and all I'll do is I will just bring this bad boy here. And what I'll do is I will just let 3-1 because I know that that is actually the scale that we used in this drawing. Good. Yeah, no weight in particular. Revision, yeah, 1. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so I think this is a nice looking drawing. Hopefully you learned something doing it. It took a while, but I think it was worth it. And now, yes, now you're off into doing a bunch of things, but this should display all of the information. So give it a shot. Thank you, Susan.